How you doing? My name is Frank Caputo. I'm a contractor out of California. Probably been in business about 30 years, doing a lot of trim work is what I basically specialize in. A lot of trim interior and some exterior. So what we want to talk about, besides the new products, is how we're going to secure all this. Now, I'm not going to get into a lot of the details on framing the deck, but the basic rules for most composites, your framing is going to be 16 inches on center. That's typical. If you're going to run the material diagonally, it changes to 12 inches on center. So make sure you know what's going to be happening, and make sure you read the directions on any time you're using a new product. Now, here's an exception to that 16-inch center. When you're doing stair work, if you read the small print on the AZEK instructions, 16 inches is not acceptable. It's got to be down to approximately 10 inches. And now you think about it. Why does it have to be so close? Why does 16-inch work on the flat landing but not on the stairs? There's a lot more concentrated load on the stairs. And a good example, which I actually got to witness, is imagine you got two guys from the big store and they're delivering your brand new refrigerator. So you got two guys and a refrigerator going up that stairs. There's your concentrated load. That's a lot more than what you would be having on the deck, because once you're on the deck, you kind of spread out. But going up the stairs, it's really concentrated on just a few steps. So you have to make sure that the stairs is framed properly. Here, you can barely see it because I've got most of this covered, unfortunately, but I've already assembled this deck over here. And one of the things I like to see around the deck is on the outside corner, I like to run a band where possible. And so you end up with a mitered look on the outside. Because I really, if I can avoid it, I really don't want to see the end grain. Okay. Now, when I'm doing an outside band for custom, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to just cut it and join it together. Because let me tell you, the product does move around. It's going to open and close on you, that joint. So if this joint is nice and tight today, and it's because it's nice and warm, and tomorrow it becomes cold, it's going to shrink on you. So one of the things I like to do to basically fool your eye is ease that edge. So it kind of matches the rest of the decking. And when I say ease the edge, it's just something real simple as just a quick round over. And let me do that real quick, because then I'm going to show you my next step after that. Let me secure this first. Okay, round overs are pretty easy. Nothing, I'm using just a 1/4 inch, and I'm not even using the full 1/4 inch. Okay, so that's the first step. Next step. Now I want everything to line up, and I want it to be nice and strong on the outside. The outside miter is hanging over the edge. Here I'm going to, eventually I've already got a plan. I'm going to have a trim going around it, but it's still on the edge, and I don't want it moving side to side. So I want to reinforce it. Biscuits are one way of doing it. I'm not really thrilled about the biscuits because it's leaving a big slot mark, and unfortunately I haven't really found too many, unless you get into the real high-end biscuit joiners that really work. Most of them get real on the sloppy side. So for the same price of a real good biscuit joiner, you get the Domino. What you're doing is you're just cutting a slot, and it's got a router bit that just spins and isolate goes back and forth. I'm not going to put any pencil marks. I got my piece right here. You're not going to see me marking anything. I'm going to cut all the slots. Right now, this is what we end up with, little slots, like so. And this is the finished product that's already got the pins, or the dominoes already in there. So because of the outside, the pins were both started, automatically lines. It's not sliding back and forth like biscuits. They give you that slop so you can move around. Well, I don't need that slop. I want everything nice and tight. So as you can see, how snug that is, how flat that is. So now I'll put a bead of glue on there and put this together. Now, if for some reason this were to shrink, this is basically fooling the eye if it shrinks and opens up on you. Plus now I got plenty of strength. Now all the pieces, all the decking that I'll butt up to it, I'll do the same treatment. I'll give that an ease edge, so it kind of gives you a nice look. So as you're going down the rows, and if you have to use joints in your deckings, because most people don't have 40-foot material available, then you'll have that randomly, and it really looks good. So that's the way that I recommend treating the deck. Here's the glue. I can have this thing tack up in about 10 minutes. I've got like 5 to 7 minutes of working time with this glue. It's a water-based glue, so it gives you that durability of time. Here's the thing. You cannot just, and I'm going to call it surface tension, where you just glue it and hold it there without any tension. That doesn't do you any good because you're not really doing the glue any justice. We all know that if you're doing interior woodwork, the same thing. You need to have it under clamping pressure. So I would have this clamped together. Here I have a mini version of a small clamp, but I would actually use a bigger clamp that would hold this under pressure, hold that together. 24 hours after you've done that glue joint, 24 hours, it's cured. If you've applied enough glue on there and it's 24 hours later, that joint's not coming apart, guaranteed. Not coming apart.